It's Thursday, May 30. In the headlines, Prime Minister calls for hotline and investigation of trucked water complaints. Judge to decide on Vibes Cartel case. In business news, the Planning Institute of Jamaica says real GDP grew by 1.9%. Regionally, the region's first security operations center launched in Trinidad and Tobago. And in sports, Reggae girls to face Brazil in 2 friendly matches. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. As the country continues to grapple with the impact of the ongoing drought, the government has spent more than $300 million in mitigation efforts. However, there are complaints of corruption in the process. Prime Minister Andrew Holness addressed the matter in Parliament this week.
But it is disturbing when I go into some areas and we hear complaints that the truck is only stopping at some people's gate. The truck doesn't come to the community, it stops down the road. Somebody called the truckman and he's diverted to somewhere else. All of that reduces the effort and impact of the government's expenditure.
Mr. Holness has directed the National Water Commission to establish a hotline and email address where complaints can be sent to the Commission.
And as soon as the complaints are brought to the attention of the NWC, we will pass them on to MOCA for investigations to be done to bring charges and prosecution against persons who have been identified in this regard. Madam Speaker, we take it very seriously. There should be no corruption or favoritism in the distribution of water.
The Prime Minister says the government understands the impact on all stakeholders.
Your government understands the impact on all stakeholders, residents, children, schools, businesses, hotels in the region, and indeed all stakeholders. Farmers have also borne a heavy burden across all Western parishes.
$150 million has been allocated by the Ministry of Finance to facilitate the trucking of water and procurement and distribution of water tanks to parts of the country that are experiencing water challenges due to the ongoing drought conditions. The Prime Minister says the systems being implemented by the government are to ensure that the highest standard of water quality is maintained for distribution. He also encouraged people to do their own form of sterilization when they receive the commodity. Following the Caribbean Examination Council's recent decision to discontinue 4 subjects at the Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate and Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Examination levels due to low enrollment, the Ministry of Education and Youth will be meeting with the Council on June 4. Danita Rodney tells us more.
Addressing Wednesday's post-cabinet press briefing, Education Portfolio Minister Favour Williams said CXC was established to serve several member countries, and as such, a decision is to be discussed with education ministers prior to public announcements. Mrs. Williams said other regional education ministers will be part of the meeting, which will address concerns with respect to the discontinuance or suspension policy.
Having registered the concerns of our principals and other concerned Jamaicans, in no uncertain terms, we will be meeting with CXC along with other regional education ministers. And this meeting is set for Tuesday, June 4th, 2024 at 10 a.m. to address concerns with respect to the discontinuance or suspension policy. CXC also indicated that it would like to address critical matters relating to the administration and the release of results for the May-June 2024 exams.
She continued saying the ministry understands the value of these subjects, especially in light of the recent declaration of Jamaica as a STEM island.
I want to say to our principals and our students that the Ministry of Education and Youth understands the value of these subjects, especially in the light of the recent declaration of Jamaica as a STEM island by our Honorable Prime Minister.
The Education Minister also shared that at a previously held meeting on May 21 with principals, it was unanimously agreed that the subjects should be continued and that the ministry will engage further to find out what support is needed.
At a meeting held with principals on May 21, it was unanimously agreed that these subjects should be continued. We will engage further with our principals to hear from them as to the support they will need. We will increase awareness of these subject areas under the STEM and TVET agendas and the value of the subjects to our national development and in advancing career opportunities.
Reporting for the news on PBCJ, I'm Denida Rodney.
A ruling in Vybz Cartel's habeas corpus case is expected to be handed down this afternoon in the Supreme Court. The ruling will be delivered by Judge Andrea Thomas pending a murder retrial decision in the Court of Appeal. Lawyers representing Cartel and two of his three co-accused filed the habeas corpus application seeking their release on Monday, May 14, because of issues the defense did not wish to disclose. The application follows the Privy Council's Thursday, March 14 ruling that Cartel and his co-accused have their convictions quashed for 2011 murder of Clive Lizard Williams. The retrial hearing of Cartel, whose given name is Adidja Palmer, and his co-accused Sean Campbell, Kahira Jones, and Andre St. John's is set to begin on June 10. The Jamaica Fire Brigade's records management system will be digitized. Local Government and Rural Development Minister Desmond McKenzie, who made the announcement while delivering his contribution to the sectoral debate, says the move aims to improve efficiency in the National Fire Service.
And this system that has been provided to the brigade will ensure that the inspection schedule, the report of violations and compliance tracking, it will store building plans island-wide in one database, thus giving firefighters quick access to floor plans and fire escape routes. It will provide live tracking for fire personnel and equipment to ensure maximum safety and efficiency.
Mr. McKenzie said the move forms part of the government's commitment to establish a first world fire service.
It will create and manage firefighters' shift system, including overtime leave requests, thereby ensuring that the efficiency in terms of its frontline workers, preventing undue stress and burnout. This is critical, Madam Speaker. The first in a series of 5 sets is being tested at this time.
Minister McKenzie said testing for the new system is underway. Corn is the most popular crop grown in the world. It is a popular food that is considered both a vegetable and whole grain. It can be eaten whole as a sweet corn, popcorn, or processed into chips and oil, while most corn is used for animal feed and fuel production. Due to its impressive nutrient profile, RADA is implementing strategies to boost sweet corn production in Jamaica as part of its development goal to ensure food security. Marlon Samuels has more in this report.
Extreme weather events have become the new normal, creating unprecedented challenges for Jamaican farmers. They are tasked with providing food for the country, increasing crop yields, while combating heat waves, prolonged drought, and floods brought on by climate change. To reduce the impacts of climate change, farmers need to adopt and adapt sustainable farming practices. They are getting help from the Rural Agricultural Development Authority, RADA. One strategy being used by RADA is crop diversification. RADA has been using demonstration plots to promote alternative crops as a means of solving the problems being faced by farmers due to climate change. Demonstration plots are being used to show farmers best practices, environmentally friendly technology, pest and disease prevention, and traceability principles.
So we document a number of things. We document the, say for instance, the number of plants per acre, how it does under what we call high density cultivation, because if you notice there's a lot of plants in the one area versus a low density, which would be have a less plants per acre or per square acre area. And also we actually have them on the drip here. So we record all of these so that when the farmer comes and when we're having this session with the farmer, then all of these can be looked at. So the variables can be looked at and the positives can be taken away. The aim of it is at the end of the day, the farmer leaves with reinforced knowledge that, look, this is workable, this is something I can try, and he or she would have already learned some of the lows and highs so that it helps him or her in his or her production.
Sustainable, high-yield sweet corn production is one crop earmarked to enhance long-term agricultural productivity, improve farmers' income, and by extension Jamaica's food security. Corn can be found in food sweeteners, oil, livestock feed, and biofuel. Sweet corn is a healthy vegetable that's heart healthy. It's rich in fiber and low in cholesterol, supports eye health, and is a great source of iron. It has huge market potential and will prove economically viable for farmers as local producers are unable to meet local demand. Sweet corn is wind pollinated. The tassel produces the pollen which fertilizes the silk. The pollen is transferred from the tassel to the silk by the wind. The silk is also an indicator the corn is 18 to 21 days away from maturity.
Ideally, you want to have about 2 mature ear of corn per stalk. Under different conditions, you will find that, say, 70 to 80% of your corn would actually produce that. But there's a possibility that we don't get 2 full ear based on various conditions that might exist.
The prospect for sweet corn farming in Jamaica is not only extremely bright and lucrative, it provides hope for Jamaica's food security. For the news on PBCJ, I am Marlon Samuels.
Time now for the business report with Denise Williams.
Good day, everyone, and thank you for joining us on the Business Report. I'm Denise Williams, your guide to the latest happenings in the world of business. According to the preliminary estimates from the Planning Institute of Jamaica, PIOJ, for the January to March 2024 quarter, real gross domestic product, GDP, is estimated to have grown by 1.9% relative to the corresponding period of 2023. The performance for the January to March 2024 quarter was influenced by several key factors. There was increased external demand driven by the economic growth of Jamaica's main trading partners, benefiting the transport, hotels, restaurants, and other services industries. There was higher levels of business and consumer confidence. There was increased agricultural output due to higher yield per hectare and more hectares harvested. And there was expanded capacity utilization at alumina refineries, leading to a higher alumina production. Income to investors from stocks have been announced by prominent companies. Scotia Group Jamaica Limited has advised that a dividend payment will be considered at the upcoming Board of Directors meeting on June 6, 2024. Kingston Wharves Limited has advised that its board of directors will meet on June 5, 2024 to consider the declaration of a dividend. Caribbean Cement Company Limited has advised that the board of directors intends to meet on June 7, 2024, and the recommendation of a dividend will be considered at the meeting. During trading for the period May 29, 2024, the following companies represent the top 3 most active stocks that investors bought and sold on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. Toll operator Trans-Jamaica Highway Limited with 2,019,585 units, amounting to 26.3% of the market volume in terms of sales. Sagicor Select Funds Limited Financial with 1,378,066 units, amounting to 17.94% of the market in terms of sales. Then alternative energy provider Wigton Wind Farm Limited ordinary shares with 1,183,773 units, amounted to 15.41% of the market volume in terms of sales. Over on the Twin Island Republic of Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange, trading on May 29, 2024, registered a volume of 97,684 shares, crossing the floor of the exchange, valued at 1,038,763 Trinidad and Tobago dollars and 49 cents. Massey Holdings Limited was the volume leader with 24,146 shares, changing hands for a value of 100,882 Trinidad and Tobago dollars and 8 cents, followed by First Caribbean International Bank Limited with a volume of 14,204 shares, being traded hands for 98,433 Trinidad and Tobago dollars and 72 cents. Moving from the money moves of investors, executives, and companies, we turn to the Forex market. On May 29, 2024, the Bank of Jamaica reported that US $53.8 million was bought from Forex traders, while US $68 million was sold to Forex traders. Buying directly from the Bank of Jamaica, foreign currency traders sold the US dollar for $156.44 and bought the US dollar for $155.05. The difference between the buy and sell rate was $1.39, which represents a profit for Forex traders for every US dollar traded. Canadian Forex traders earned a trading profit of 24 cents from transactions with the Bank of Jamaica. The Canadian dollar was sold at $114.61 and bought for $114.37. For traders looking at the British pound, they pocketed a profit of $3.32, selling it for $199.25 and buying it for $195.93. For the credit report tip of the day, we want you to be clear that your credit report is a powerful tool that can help you access capital for investments. A good credit score opens doors to financing options for real estate, business ventures, and other investments. You need to leverage your solid credit history to secure loans with favorable terms, helping you grow your wealth through strategic investments. And with that, we wrap up today's business report. I'm Denise Williams. Appreciate your company. Stay well informed, stay ahead of the curve. Until our next update, take care.
In regional news, cybersecurity is our collective responsibility, and we must work together in protecting our digital infrastructure and promoting a safe online environment. The comment came from Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley during the inauguration of the Overwatch Cyber Fusion Center on Wednesday. The center is the first security operations center in the region. Mahala Joseph Wharton has more.
Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley said cyber attacks have become increasingly sophisticated and pervasive, posing significant risks to our economies, our privacy, and our national security. The aim of the Overwatch Cyber Fusion Center is to bolster cybersecurity for micro, small, and medium enterprises in Trinidad and Tobago.
This event is most timely as the rapid advancement of digital technology and the parallel growth of the digital economy has increased our vulnerability to threats of cyber attacks. In response, our country must make more secure and concerted efforts to protect our sensitive information and systems.
The Prime Minister said the cutting-edge technology being used by the centre will enable its highly skilled cybersecurity professionals to have real-time monitoring capabilities that will not only defend against existing threats, but will also anticipate and proactively mitigate future risks.
This centre is not just a building, it is a fortress that will safeguard our digital future and the lighthouse guiding our regions toward a more secure cyberspace.
Minister of Digital Transformation Hassel Bacchus said the introduction of the SOC will provide an opportunity for MSMEs to protect themselves at a lower cost.
43%, and I don't know if that number has changed recently, of cyber attacks focus on small and medium enterprises. Just over 40%. Sure, most people didn't know that. But 66% of those businesses, and in the Caribbean it is more, have no budget for cybersecurity. None.
The centre was established through collaboration between Precision Cyber Technologies, Digital Solutions and the Inter-American Development Bank's IDB Lab. Managing Director at Precision Cyber Technologies, Dr. Ronald Wolcott, said many believe that cyber attacks are done mainly by hackers.
But more than 85% of the cyber attacks are really through organized cyber criminals that are global and or nation-state actors.
The centre will serve the entire English-speaking Caribbean and possibly expand into the wider region. Mahalia Joseph Wharton, TTT News.
To ensure that workers are informed of their rights and can access advice when needed, Guyana's Ministry of Labour on Wednesday launched its Labour Advice mobile application. More in this report.
The app, which was designed to complement the Labour Department's computerized management information system, will not replace the existing walk-in service. Rather, it will allow for the digital management of inquiries being submitted to the Labour Department. It was launched in the Ministry's Breakdown Georgetown boardroom on Wednesday. Through the app, a complaint can be filed and also monitored. Minister of Labour Joseph Hamilton said the app is user-friendly and will allow workers to interact directly with the ministry at their convenience.
And I would hope that the application can be useful, it will be helpful to the citizens of Guyana to resolve their problems that might come from time to time. We are open, we are ready, and we are giving free service.
Chief Labour Officer Danishwar Dinarayan said with the view of providing and delivering better services, the ministry has over the years adopted measures to modernize its systems and methods of management.
This app is designed to give workers and employers convenient, efficient, and user-friendly tool to stay informed about their rights and seek assistance when necessary. In 2023, we had a 14% decline in complaints received when compared to 2022. And in 2024, we continue to see a decline in complaints received by the Labour Department. A year-to-year comparison, that is January to May 2023, when compared to the same period for this year, 2024, we have seen a 27% decline in complaints received, which is significant.
The app was developed by the National Data Management Authority. To access the app, people can download and install it via Google Play Store or the Apple Store. They will then be required to create an account using their email address or telephone number. Thereafter, they will be prompted to log in, after which they can begin to use the app. Reporting for the newsroom, Sharda Bacchus.
In Barbados, while the Mia Mottley administration is being praised for its EV revolution, it is being asked to do more to make those vehicles more affordable for the average citizen. The call has come from Professor Christopher Ora, a professor of viral virology at UWI St. Augustine. More in this story.
a very large proportion of those greenhouse gases, those gases that are causing the problems, are coming from our cars. It's inevitable because we're burning fossil fuels. So if we have electric cars, we remove that. We remove all those greenhouse gases that, from the situation. That's what we have to do. We have to work very hard at thinking about how we are going to all try to reduce the levels of those greenhouse gases, reduce our use of fossil fuels. And sometimes it's not easy because it it costs money often, but we have to, and our governments have to subsidize these things, so it gives people the opportunity to be able to do that. We have inside this workshop today, we have 24 people, professionals from 13 different countries, and these are all the kind of people that are working at a level where they can affect change in their governments, in their universities, in their non-government NGO sectors. These are all people who are influencers, so they have the ear of the permanent secretaries, things like that. So they're all people who can affect change, and we're giving them the knowledge and the skills to be able to act as those change agents going forward.
In sports, the Reggae Girls are in Brazil preparing for a two-match friendly international against that team. The games are set for June 1 to 4. The Reggae Girls are currently in a 14-game winless streak, partially due to the lengthy absence of the majority of those who featured in the 2023 FIFA World Cup. Reggae Girls head coach Hubert Busby is pleased with the attitude of his charges as they gear up for a busy summer, which includes World Cup qualifiers and the Nations League. He says the focus level needs to be at an all-time high. Two-time champions West Indies have moved up to 4th position in the ICC rankings. Their players are showing some great form ahead of the ICC Men's T20 World Cup 2024, which they co-host from June 1 to June 29. The winners of the 2012 and 2016 editions of the tournament are ahead of New Zealand and South Africa after their 3-0 win over South Africa, who were pushed down to 7th position in the list, led by India.
India, winners of the inaugural edition in 2007, are on 264 rating points. 2021 champions Australia are second with 257, defending champions England third with 254 points, and the West Indies 2 points behind them on 252. New Zealand are on 250, while Pakistan and South Africa are both on 244 points, with Pakistan slightly ahead on decimal points. The West Indies players, too, have reaped the benefits of their superb performances in the home series not long before their tournament opener against Papua New Guinea in Guyana on June 2nd from 10 hours 30. Player of the series against South Africa, Gudakesh Moti, who took a series-leading 8 wickets, advanced a whopping 84 places to number 27, while batsman Kyle Mayers gained 12 places to reach number 31 with an aggregate of 102 runs in the series. Opener Brandon King is up 5 places to 8th position after topping the series aggregate with 159 runs, and Johnson Charles, who hammered 69 off 26 balls to be named player of the match in the 3rd T20, is up 17 places to number 20. The move up the rankings is a major boost for Darren Sammy's side, which is aiming to become the first host nation to win the ICC Men's World T20. Under Sammy's captaincy, the Caribbean side won the title in 2012 and 2016, becoming the first nation to win it twice. The recent series win over South Africa has inspired hopes of a record 3rd title, especially since the men in maroon were missing several key players, the likes of skipper Rovman Powell, Nicholas Pooran, Shea Hope, Andre Russell and Alzari Joseph. After their opening game against Papua New Guinea, West Indies will play Uganda on June 8th at Providence from 20 hours 30 before heading off to Trinidad and Tobago to face New Zealand on June 12th.
And that's the news on PBCJ. You can follow us on our social media platforms at PBCJamaica. Thanks for watching.